Is there any modern comedy couple that has become as iconic as Jim and Pam?
This guy.
If you think about it, the series started in 2005, and fans watched 9 seasons worth of their love story in the background, and sometimes very much in the foreground. Ending in 2012, the series took on new life with old fans, younger generations, and the love for the series spread around the world, all thanks to streaming, meaning that Jim and Pam have been on screens creating heartwarming moments for almost 20 years now. So today, continuing this series, I wanted to take a look at the moments that defined Jam along the way. Real quick too, I wrote this miniseries as a way to talk about some of these moments and their significance in the series. If you're not here for that commentary, I 100% understand. I don't own the rights to The Office, and I just can't throw together montages of moments. There's other channels for that. So with that, let's get into the list.
Warning! 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 Warning!
Throughout the series, we have several Jim and Pam arcs. So will they, won't they? A span as a young couple, newlywed stuff, new parents stuff, and even some of the joys of marital bliss.
I'm doing everything I can every week to bring home something for our family.
I am trying to make everything perfect here, okay?
But the couple started and finished as one of the primary sources of heart and soul for the series.
That's still going on?
Starting off with the second episode in the series, which happens to be Diversity Day, which a lot of people just tend to forget.
Googie!
While everyone remembers Diversity Day for its comedy, and it has a lot of it, the subplot in the episode is just how crappy of a day Jim is having. Having escalated the prank war between his desk mate, Jim's balancing his sanity through not 1 but 2 corporate diversity trainings, just to learn that the sale that pads a decent portion of his wallet has been stolen out from under him by Dwight.
Retaliation. Tit for tit.
As the episode closes, Jim takes a seat with the rest of the depressed office staff, realizing that he's at a dead-end job, his boss is a joke, and pretty much everything sucks.
Shown him up, wouldn't it? I brought in some burritos or some...
Not a bad day.
Perspective is everything, and this moment, while a jungle of cringe is happening, had enough heart to propel a will they won't they, which would last for years. Most of the Jim Pam arc for the first couple seasons of The Office is just us staring at the screen, yelling at Jim to say something. In The Office's first ever Christmas episode, he finally works up the nerve to tell Pam how he actually feels about her, with a note.
What are we, 5?
Well, at least it's something. Jam-packed with mementos from throughout their friendship, and a love note Jim intended to give the teapot to Pam as part of the Secret Santa gift exchange. Everything was going according to plan until Michael decided to swap things up. The Halpert's love pot ends up as Dwight's neti pot. As the episode resolves, though, we find out that Pam decided to trade with Dwight for the iPod, just to get the teapot.
I traded with Dwight. I figured, you went to a lot of trouble and it means a lot.
It's short and sweet, and it sets the pace for the stirring vibes that The Office Christmas episodes would tend to follow. And while Jim ultimately chickened out here, our next heartwarming moment, well, let's fast forward to the end of season 2, and Jim and Pam are playing cards during Michael's casino night. During the event, Jim and Pam find themselves closing out a game of poker. Jim goes all in, thinking he knows what Pam's gonna lay down, and it doesn't go his way. It's a charming moment, but it's also foreshadowing, as later in the evening, Jim goes once again all in.
I was just, I'm in love with you.
What?
And it pretty much goes the exact same way.
I can't.
Yeah,
You have no idea
don't do that.
what your friendship means to me.
Cut to upstairs, and Pam's presumably talking to her mom about what just went down, indicating to us and the Peeping Tom film crew that they may have gossiped about her having a thing for Jim in the past. Cue Jim once again, going all in.
Listen, Jim.
And while the answer is still the same, she confirms to Jim that she does have a thing for him. And while it ends kind of crushing,
You're really gonna marry him? Okay.
there's a subtle beauty in the writing and the execution of these scenes. As the season finale wasn't quite a cliffhanger, but it definitely left some people wondering what's in store next. Fast forward all the way to the very next season's finale, and Jim, in a somewhat failing relationship with Karen, is interviewing for the big-time corporate job. Having asked Pam to print out some sales figures for this interview, she takes that opportunity to put her own little note inside that folder.
The guy here is probably the only person you're not gonna like. Kindle. Ugh. So,
in the middle of Jim crushing this interview with Wallace, he finds the encouragement note containing the Office Olympics medal, and then Jim is confronted by Wallace like some sage godlike being guiding Jim on his quest.
we want the person who takes this position to be here for the long haul. So, long haul. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
The Office toys with us for just a moment, with a montage of Jim leaving, overlaid with Pam's talking head. We do cut back to the beach footage we weren't originally privy to, and it's at this moment that stopped us all in our tracks.
Pam. Sorry. Are you free for dinner tonight?
Yes.
All right. Then it's a date.
Top 10 moment for most of The Office for sure. It would probably rank really high on anybody's list. And that's because this is the culmination of years worth of fan heartaches while shipping these two. Just kind of dawning on me that I'm not really cool enough to say shipping, am I? No, nope. This is the culmination of years worth of emotional anxiety, and the moment didn't disappoint. It's excellent writing, directing, editing, and acting. The real question after this series finale is, how would the show handle the relationship moving forward? It's pretty basic, really.
Who are you dating? Pam. That's still going on?
As season 4 was severely hampered by the writer's strike, I'm sure we would have gotten a lot more of Jam dating during this season. As it is, by the end of this one, Jim's ready to already pop the question, but fans would have to wait until the premiere of season 5 for what amounted to be one of the most expensive shots in the entire series to date.
What are you doing?
I can't wait.
Oh my god.
I think what is so stirring about this sequence is that it plays on the original arc. It's as though something clicked for Jim and he was tired of waiting until everything was just right, and then just decided to make it happen.
That must have been a surprise when at the gas station you proposed.
Speaking of making it happen, the next heartwarming moment happens when we find out that Pam Beesly is a beast at volleyball.
Pretending to have PMS so I didn't have to play volleyball.
But having hurt her ankle, Jim rushes her off to the hospital to make sure it isn't broken so that they can resume playing. While the game's on hold, thanks to Dwight's magnificent stall tactics.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Dwight.
No, hear me out. 5, 6.
Dwight.
7. Can I finish, please?
Okay.
The company picnic episode takes a very sharp right turn. The choice to cut the audio here and just watch these actors express all of the emotions was a fantastic decision, and Krasinski kills this callback to Dwight.
Hey, Dwight. Send in the subs.
Finding out that you're gonna be a new parent for the first time is a huge deal, and thus, this momentous occasion was as big of a deal for us as fans. But now the writers were tasked with creating a wedding episode that would feel worthy of the fandom's deep love for these characters. The Niagara episode is the answer to that challenge. But a couple moments within this one bubbled to the top of my list for Jam moments. And the first is Pam having her panic attack. There's been this inside joke throughout this episode that the couple need to take mental pictures throughout the day.
Hey, my aunt told me something neat.
Yeah?
She said everything with the wedding goes by so fast, we should try to take mental pictures of the high points.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Click. Oh, you blinked.
By the way, that's not how brains work, so take real pictures. That's just for free, everyone. While it's terrible advice, as Pam's mid-freakout session, Jim makes this grand gesture to reassure her that none of this glitz and glamour of the day means really anything to him. It's just her.
Oh, this is the one thing I was supposed to be able to control was this veil.
There. Now we're even.
And it's a moment that I've always appreciated because it's very true to these characters. And the editing here for the rest of the episode is nothing short than magnificent. The couple decide to stow away and get married by one of the producers for the show, and then head back unexplainedly wet. Meanwhile, the bridal party, plus the office, decide to do an aisle dance walk down. And the whole thing just works. The chaos, the insanity, the fun, and the feels.
My heart soars with the eagle's nest.
But let's slow down for this next moment. Later in season 6, during the delivery episode, as Pam's anxiety is flowing from, being scared of actually giving birth
Oh, God! Wow! What was on that?
to probably having anxiety about being a new mom. This is all inflamed by her trying to get Cece to latch on. All of that anxiety is wound up to 10 throughout their entire experience at the hospital. But as Jim goes to get the car, we have this moment.
Oh, yeah. Like that. Oh, there we go. You got it.
5 tickets on the windshield.
It's definitely a deep track on this list, but it's one of my favorite moments for newlywed Jim and Pam. And it's probably Kevin's favorite moment also. Then we don't really have much, just a lot of silly moments and mutual support. That is until the writers decided that we needed to introduce some trouble in paradise. The series-long arc for Jim is his longing to be doing more with his career than working at Dunder Mifflin. He stayed there for Pam, but now that they're established, he's longing for a new challenge and a new mountain to climb. Pam, on the other hand, has everything she's ever wanted: a husband who adores her and works 5 feet away, healthy kids, and a job she's fabricated out of the blue. As season 9 plays out the way it does, Jimbo takes the risk of starting Athleap and eventually begins to split his time between Scranton and Philly. The couple end up having some strife over the separation and stress. Fans were not a fan of this arc, but it does do a good job of showing a brief glimpse of couples getting separated by their own vision of what happiness actually entails. Their stress continues to culminate until the two share this emotional moment together. And this sequence just gets it right. It's weird, it's awkward, but it's real. Once again, there's so much happening here in the body language. It's a simple sequence, rich in narrative, and it works. Sometimes we don't have the words to say it because our heads and our heart are in conflict, and these two just hold on to each other in spite of everything. It's just meaningful, I think. To round out this arc, Jim decided to put his position at Athleap on hold and kick it old school in Scranton full time. Pam's still a worrywart, is grappling with the implications of coercing her husband into abandoning his dreams.
I'm afraid you're gonna resent me, and I'm afraid that this is not enough for you, and I'm afraid that I'm not enough for you.
Is that really what you think?
So in the penultimate episode, we get this sequence that I can't play many clips of, but it was The Office's love letters to us, the fans who stuck it out all the way with Jim and Pam, in an edit intended for Pam to seal in Jim's love.
Not enough for me. You are everything.
And as the series closes out in the finale, we see the couple happy and thriving. Jim made his concession for love, and Pam's being questioned by random women, which are stand-ins for us, the Office fandom. By the way, if you never picked that up, what is Pam gonna do to repay Jim? And it just so happens that right after that, we get this very last Jim and Pam hit you in the feels moment.
You want to do this?
I want to do this.
You really want to do this?
I really want to do this!
Meaning that, like Jim, Pam has realized that Scranton, her job, all of those things don't matter when considering Jim. So that's my list. Stick it out with me next time. We're going to be talking about the most heartwarming moments from The Office, deep tracks only.
No hits, deep tracks only.
With that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.